All about that base, how the health of your feet affect the health of your entire body. Our feet serve as the foundation for everything we do. Functions like gait, balance, shock absorption, weight distribution, and how we support our entire structure begins at our feet. But did you know that our feet influence our breath, digestion, and even our metabolism? Each of our feet are comprised of 26 bones, 33 joints, and many intrinsic muscles residing only within the foot, as well as extrinsic muscles that extend beyond our ankles and knees. Ideally, each of those tissues are supple and mobile. This informs our gait and allows our feet to make tiny adaptations to the changes in the ground below us. The more our feet are able to sense and adapt to mold to the terrain below us, the less shock the larger joints like the knees, hips, and spine have to absorb. The problem is, we spend a large portion of our lives in shoes, and this causes rigidity of the joints and muscles within your feet and lower legs. And unfortunately, the more these areas seize up, the more abuse our knees, hips, and spine take on, all the way up to our necks and heads. In fact, this is a common cause of neck pain, headaches, and shoulder, elbow, and wrist pain. And if you sit at work all day, the problem becomes even worse. Spending 40+ hours a week in the same posture, chronic hip and knee flexion, and the constant pressure of your body weight on the backside of your thighs and buttocks dehydrates those tissues, essentially laminating them together. And both of these issues contribute to the compression of your lower back and can drastically increase your risk of injury down the road. Additionally, the inherent poor posture that comes along with all this sitting adaptively shortens an important spinal stabilizer, the psoas, further increasing your risk of injury. Not to mention, it inhibits the diaphragm. The more inhibited our diaphragm, the more reliant our breathing becomes on the muscles of our necks to lift our ribs to make room for our lungs to expand. These tiny accessory muscles weren't designed for this kind of heavy lifting, and it causes neck and jaw tension, headaches, and contributes to injuries of the upper body. But it can also create digestive distress and perpetuate stress and anxiety. Think a standing desk eliminates the problem? Think again. Simply trading in your office chair for a stand-up desk doesn't eliminate the long-term adaptations or the rigidity of the tissues. These can only be addressed by releasing the long-held tension patterns intentionally, which is actually quite easy when you know how. More on that in just a moment. But first, to make the bad news even worse, those who work in stand-only positions, like on a production line or in customer service positions, have been found to have up to an additional liter of fluid in their legs to compensate for the tension within the muscles and the difficulty their bodies have circulating and excreting toxins and dead cells. And to make things even more interesting, the more rigid your muscles become, the less force they can produce, resulting in muscular imbalance, negatively affects athletic performance and the results of exercise, and even slows your metabolism. Now, I wouldn't put out all this bad news without having their solutions at the ready. So if you're ready to learn a few simple self-care techniques that will improve your overall health, join me Tuesday, September 4th, 12 to 12:45 in the Learning Center. I'll provide all the tools for class, as well as handouts with all the techniques covered, so you can continue to make progress at home. The cost of the class is $20 as a drop-in, or if you pay in advance via the Venmo app, or purchase a 6-class passport, it's only $15 per class. If you have any questions or wish to register for class, please let Corey Post know.